Yo, we're back
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here today.
for another one.
Another one.
Yes, sir. But before I got here, took a nice shower, and while I was showering,
I hope you were showering.
I was thinking of Tory Lanez while I was showering. You know?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yo, pause. Yo, that kind of reminds me of a story. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So real quick, so one day, randomly, high school days, I was walking in the hallway,
Yeah.
and our psychology teacher slash basketball coach at the time,
Yeah.
Mr. Kayada, had dropped one of the most sus statements of all time. He's seen one of our fellow classmates, name will be unknown, and he called him over. He was like, "Hey, come over here real quick. You know, I was thinking about you last night when I was showering." I was like, "What?" I'm like, this is very awkward, very suspicious, and it's like if the principal or like another higher up heard him say that, then they definitely would have took him in for questioning, because I was very, very suspicious, very odd.
So that popped in my head. I was just like, yo, let me start it off like that. I was thinking of Tory Lanez.
So Tory Lanez, what was you thinking about him?
So I was thinking about him because I was cooking up this beef on the stove, right? And that made me question, what's beef? Beef is what you cook on the stove. Beef is what you know what you told. Nah.
Yeah, yo, make sure you write that stuff down, because eventually more lines are going to pop up and it's going to go right with that. So just write it down.
Yeah,
Put it in the phone.
Referencing the legend B.I.G. was beef. It got me thinking of the most recent hip-hop beef, which I think is between Tory and Meg. So
interesting.
So it made me start thinking, like, can Tory come back from this? And then it got me thinking of other past beefs that people have been in and that have, like, either their careers been affected or they were able to bounce back.
Right.
And one other beef I was getting compared this beef to was Meek Mill and Drake. You know, can Tory come back like Meek Mill did? You know,
it's a very tough question, because you're dealing with a domestic violence case. You know, so this is something that happened while we was in quarantine. Or were we in quarantine still? Because it was summertime.
Yeah.
People were going out again.
Yeah.
And as you remember, during that time, this is when Tory Lanez was pretty much like at his peak.
Yeah, this was like right after Chicks Tape 5.
Chicks Tape 5, yeah. So Chicks Tape 5, it dropped. And then quarantine happened. We was all stuck in the house. And this is when he started doing
quarantine radio.
Quarantine radio.
That's right.
And like he had like all the celebrities, all his buddies in the industry, rap buddies, R&B buddies, was hopping in the live. And he was requesting like any girl to like pop in his stream
with milk
and stuff. And he's talking like, "Oh, can you shake it for daddy?" And like you see like all the gifs and the memes of stuff, like him looking so happy and smiling and shit. Honestly, that was some of like the greatest like IG lives ever. Like being stuck in the house and watching that, it was very entertaining.
Nah, for sure. Yeah, because we were all normal. Even the celebrities, they were normal. They couldn't head out. You know, they couldn't do nothing extravagant. They had to stay inside their house. You know, so what else? We got the smartphones. We got social media. So he just popped off. And like you said, it was like peak like of his career right there. Yeah,
and also during that time, he dropped what will be his last project on a record label.
Oh yeah.
The new Toronto 3.
Yep.
He dropped that, and then he was finally free.
Yeah.
So after that, he started to be more free.
Yeah.
And start doing things on his own time.
Yeah,
he was being more consistent with the releases, with the singles, and he had everything all plotted out. He wanted to drop like a capsule, was it like?
Oh yeah, a rap capsule,
R&B, like 80s, 90s, all that other stuff.
True. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So then here comes the unfortunate situation, and this was like around like his birthday too.
Yeah.
You know, so he got too drunk.
Yeah.
He got too drunk, and then he became trigger happy, and they. So it all came down to court, and he pretty much was guilty of all charges. Like, he shot Meg.
But I'm just confused because I thought there was like something that came out saying that the jury found him not guilty or something like that. I forget.
So I think what they were saying is that they didn't find any DNA of his like on like the gun, like the residue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. So like
so people were like, yeah, he beat this case, this and that, and then the next week
they found him guilty. So they pretty much, I believe they had like an eyewitness saying that they saw him actually like wilding out, and like he did. They're saying that like he didn't like directly shoot at her. It's just like he was shooting either like in the sky or like on the floor and like ricocheted.
Yeah. Okay.
And it hit her. So that's why like he was always standing 10 toes down, saying like, "Oh, I never shot at you. Like I never did that." But it's like when you're drunk, like all that shit's like everything that you do, like you don't remember. Like
people black out.
Yeah, people black out.
Yeah.
And like unless someone was around and they tell you like, listen, like you did do that, and it's like, oh shit, like did I drink that much? Like I can't remember what I did. And after the verdict was read, I think it was like literally like 24, 48 hours later, there was a footage, like a leaked footage, audio clip of him calling Meg's like best friend at the time.
Yeah.
And he pretty much admitted guilt. Like he.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, I fucked up." Like
this audio.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like he fucked up. Like I drank too much. Like I would never cause harm to her. Like I can't believe this happened. And it's like, there's like no there's no backing you up now, because it's like this shit leaked, and it's like you fucked up. You're guilty now. So it's like going back to the question, can he bounce back?
Yeah.
Now, like he's been locked up ever since. He's trying to lawyer up. He's trying to get the people who backed up.
Did he? Because Diddy went through something similar.
I don't know. I forget who. I think.
Oh, 6ix9ine.
One of like the high profile like lawyers who backed up like another high profile artist. Like he's trying to get those people, and they're trying to like appeal the case. They're trying to do like another retrial.
He needs to get those lawyers that help 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine.
Or OJ.
Yeah, OJ too.
You know, like, and he also said that he regrets not testifying.
He didn't?
He didn't testify.
Okay.
So now he looks back on it, and he regrets not taking the stand.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that it might have changed the outcome of the situation. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. No, not for sure.
But
for sure.
where I think we're gonna find out in like the next week or two what's gonna happen, if they're gonna go to trial again, and I don't know. It's bad. It's not looking good for him, and I don't know how it's gonna come out.
Yeah,
I really don't.
If it's gonna affect his career, because I feel like it has since it's happened. Like I feel like he hasn't had that support, because since he's not on the label, he's not having that radio support or even the streaming supports. Because when he drops something, you usually don't see it on the front page of the streaming service.
No, as an indie artist, you know, you have to push on your own. You don't have that back end of a major label pushing you to like streaming catalogs and like the radio play. You know, like you have to like you're dependent like on your fans, like your loyal fan base, to like really push you in that direction.
Yeah, so just this beef, I feel like this is the most recent beef we have in the hip hop game right now. And it just made me think about the other beefs that has happened in the hip hop's lifespan, which is 50 years. They turned 50 this year in August.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, this made me think, like, because there's been so many beefs, you know, and it seems like sometimes, like, whoever gets, like, the L in that beef, usually, like, they bounce back or they don't, you know what I mean? So it just made me think of, like, other beefs. Like, my first memory of like a hip hop beef was probably like the NWA and Ice Cube. You know, no Vaseline. Ice Cube like just demolished the whole label. NWA was just like they just had to all separate because Dr. Dre had to leave them after that. Eazy-E, like he was just falling off after that as well. And just like there's like so many beefs like that happen in the game, and it just makes you think, why is that? Like why is there so many beefs? Because as a kid, I remember me saying this to my sister. I was just like, yo, I feel like the music industry is gonna die one day. Because how can you have something to say like forever? You know what I mean? Like I feel like you can't keep saying the same thing over and over.
True.
You know?
And you know, like I was always thinking, it's funny that you bring that up because like I'm always thinking like, how are they gonna create like a new sound?
Yeah.
You know, it's like how are producers, engineers, how are they able to create like a new sound that's gonna have people like want to like bump to it? You know what I'm saying? And like now, like growing up and listening to music more often, you realize that they sample a lot of music. They sample a lot of old music, and they twist it to their own taste. And I'm like, now I see how like it evolves and like it grows, you know.
Yeah, it's like a legacy. Like it just keeps living on, no matter
everlasting.
But the thing that makes it live on, that I'm coming to see, that it's not the music itself that's living on, it's the people who's listening to it. And you got to think about it, every era has different generations of kids that's listening to this music for the very first time. So something that came out in the 90s, someone's being born, you know, and in the 2000s, now they're finally at the age where they want to listen to it, and that's their first time listening to it. So that's their first experience, and that's continuing that legacy of that song that has been living on for so long. So I feel like it's the fans that keep that music alive. It's the fans that are the ones that are listening to it, and it keeps it going. So just new generations, new people listening to it. That's what really keeps the music business alive. And I was just like, so for people to be interested in this, they have to tell a story, right? That like you have to be attached to this, like somehow personally. You don't just listen to music just to listen to it. There's so many songs you can play, and you have a vivid memory of like something that's attached to that song.
Yeah, and I feel like Lil Wayne said it best on Big Sean's track on Dark Sky Paradise, Deep. He said, it ain't about if they remember you, they remember rap, so spit it back and hope somebody's digging that. Because that shit is deep. And like Wayne, and like that's like one of like Lil Wayne's like best verses in recent memory. Because like that's really true.
For sure. So just thinking about beefs, like what's one of your beefs like that are very highlighted to you, like in your lifetime?
The 50 Cent Ja Rule.
50
Cent Ja Rule. Because like growing up, I remember coming home from school. TRL, 106 in Park, you know, and I remember the number one requested song of the day was 50 Cent in the club.
Oh, wow,
And I remember my sister's like, oh, 50 Cent. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck is 50 Cent? Like, who's that? And then, like, I'm watching the video, you can find me in the club. But I was like, oh, shit. And I remember going to the laundromat, and they were showing 50 Cent video, PIMP.
Wow.
And I remember I was with my sister Joanna. I was like, Joanna, what's PIMP? And she was like, oh, that's a guy with like 100 girls. And I was like, oh, so are you a PIMP? Like you got all these guys coming to the house? Like that's you? I was like, oh shit, I see you. You a PIMP? You know what I'm saying? So like growing up, like they put me onto 50, and that led me to listening to G-Unit album. Nice. And surprisingly for Christmas, my aunt actually bought me the G-Unit CD. And like I remember the explicit version too. So like I remember when we was having family gatherings for the holidays, and my mom
she was playing that in the background.
my mom, she had like the karaoke system and had a CD player. So I popped it in there, and all you hear is everything we go through, all the gangsters around, and my whole crew. What? And then Stunt 101. Yeah. And I remember listening to Stunt 101, and Lloyd Banks said, "Rolling up a blunt." Oh, wow. And I'm singing that to my sisters, and my sister's like, "Do you even know what that means?" And I'm like, "No, like, I'm just singing along to it." Just at first, I thought he said rolling up a butt, and they were like, "You don't even know what that means. Like, what are you saying?" I was like, "Yo, it just sounds catchy." You know, so growing up, listening to 50 and G Unit, and then like I know that beef was very big because it stemmed from like even before like 50 Cent was hot. Yeah. And it was like Ja Rule came out first, and like Ja Rule was I believe Ja Rule's like first like up and coming like verse was when he hopped on the Jay-Z track, "Can I Get a What?"
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, that was like Ja Rule's like homecoming.
Okay. So his debut verse.
Like his debut, and him and Ashanti like dynamic duo 1-2 punch. Yeah. For like the ladies, for the couples and stuff. So like Ja Rule, like he definitely had it coming up. You know, like he came in the game pretty hot. Yeah. And then out of nowhere 50 Cent came. You know? And like Jay-Z, I think he was on what is it? Hot 107, Hot 103 or whatever.
Hot 97?
Yeah, Hot 97 in New York, and he was like he was warning them about 50. He's like, "Yo, when this dude drops, like you guys gotta like be careful because like this guy's coming in hot with this In the Club record. Like he's gonna make a big impact in the industry." Yeah, you know. So when it comes to that beef, 50 and Ja, like it was almost deadly.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like you had I think you had like Ja Rule's people. They went to like the record studio company, and they're like they were shooting and stabbing up the place, and like. And it stemmed before like 50 was even signed. Like it was like a real beef where it could have gone either way. Like one of the other could have done. It almost resembled like Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, but like you had you had two people in the same state, in the same city. You know, it wasn't no East Coast West Coast. This was like straight up New York beef. Yeah. And to this day, it still lingers.
No, for sure.
Not as highlighted, not as like publicized as it was before. Yeah, for sure. But like you can still feel the tension. So like nowadays, I don't know if you've seen the video, but Ja Rule surprisingly had like a concert. Okay. And someone started playing 50 Cent in the club, and they couldn't turn it off. Nah. Yeah, and they were like, "Yo, who's playing that? Turn that shit up!" And they're trying to figure out where it's coming from. At a Ja Rule yeah. Oh wow. And they were playing 50 Cent. And it's like, yo, it's like wherever Ja Rule goes, 50 Cent finds a way to like fucking be that fucking sly devil pest and just bother him. And then remember like years ago when he had he had like a concert and like 50 Cent bought like all the tickets.
the front row tickets.
Yeah, so no one would show up. And it's like now you wonder why 50 Cent got shot 9 times, because it's like this dude's been a fucking pest since day one. Yeah. You know, so sidetrack. It's been 20 years. It's been 20th anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying. Oh wow! We just celebrated the 20th year anniversary like a week ago, and that album like. It's like it just dropped yesterday. Yeah, it feels like it was just yesterday that we was listening to those songs like In the Club, PIMP, 21 Questions. So like
Back Down was a diss track to
Ja Rule.
To Ja Rule. Yep. And then to talk about diss tracks, so that was 50's diss track to Ja Rule, and then Ja Rule came back with Clap Back. And I recently listened to it, and I felt like supposedly Back Down too was ghostwritten by Young Buck. Young Buck came out and publicly said that he wrote Back Down for 50.
I honestly kind of find that hard to believe, because I feel like when it comes to like the group of G Unit, I felt like it was 50 that wrote for a lot. Yeah. Especially Young Buck too. For him to say that, I kind of find that hard to believe, because like 50 Cent, he's came out and said like he's helped Young Buck with his raps.
No, for sure. It's a collaborative.
Yeah. So it is a collaborative process, but with Young Buck, I feel like it's just coming out of like envy. Towards 50.
So yeah, just listening to Clap Back and Back Down. Back Down was definitely a very gangster like sound. You know what I mean? It's very rugged.
Yeah.
But then listening to Clap Back is more like a club record, and just realizing like more club record type of sounds get played more. You know what I mean? So I was just like, damn, did 50 lose that rap battle right there? Like the 1-on-1?
I mean, I honestly don't remember. Like, I remember when the songs came out, but I don't remember like how impactful they were. Each track.
No, yeah, we were too young to see the impact.
Yeah, we just knew like it was out, and like we was vibing to it.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know how impactful it was on the rap game.
Yeah.
You know, but I do feel like 50 Cent kind of ended his career.
Yeah.
His career and the whole Murder Inc. Like when 50 Cent came, like he was the it guy, and Ja Rule kind of like fell off. Like Ja Rule, he was still like coming out, like he dropped that, and then he dropped New York, and then 50 Cent, he took that personally. So like not only was he dissing Ja Rule, he was dissing Fat Joe.
He was dissing the whole New York with Piggy Bank.
So yeah, his next album, The Massacre, Piggy Bank. Like 50 Cent, like he was ruthless. He did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like not only like Back Down, but like Piggy Bank was like, all right, I'm gonna be even more ruthless.
Yeah.
And
the whole New York.
The whole New York. And like even before Piggy Bank, even before Back Down, he made a song called How to Rob.
Yeah, and he called out everyone.
And he was calling out everyone there.
Yeah.
Like this dude, he had some big balls, and like he didn't care who he was going after. He was going after, and he was just wanting a response from them.
Yeah, not for sure.
You know.
But I feel like a lot of beefs are very ruthless. Like, cause I went back to the Tupac and Biggie beef, and that one was ruthless as well. And that was like the very first, I feel like, international beef people knew about. Like Biggie and Tupac, East versus West. You know, that's real Civil War type of beef right there. Like two coasts beefing. Like if you're from this coast and that coast, like now we're not messing with each other because you're from over there.
Yeah.
Like that really impacted like the whole country, and I feel like that's kind of like the blueprint of how like these other beefs came about, because they saw how big this one story got. Until this day, we're getting documentaries of who shot Biggie, who shot Tupac. You know, we're still getting content off this one beef that happened in '96.
And to think that at that time there was no social media.
Yeah.
And for it to be that big, like it's just mind blowing. And like you said, like they're still making bank off it by these documentaries. Bro. Like they're making documentaries, they're making shows, fucking guys that don't even look like Tupac and Biggie, but like people are still invested in it.
Yeah,
it's insane, like how they're still milking the cow with this.
Yeah, and then just hearing Tupac's verse on "Hit 'Em Up," how he started because the song is Tupac featured the Outlaws, so Tupac starts it off and then he ends it as well, and that end thing he's doing, like he was just very violent, like saying I'm gonna kill you. Like how did this get cleared? How did the labels hear this? Like let's clear this, let's let this on the radio.
Someone must have been an informant.
like what?
They was getting paid. They were like, yo, you better drop this shit, so when the body drops, then we gonna send you the check that way. We're gonna send you the wire.
Bro, like, so that just got me thinking. I'm like, yo, the labels really just use these two people and just made so much money off this story. Because you got to think about it, too. Like, how can you gravitate towards something? Like, you have to, like, personalize it. So, we're from the East Coast, so we probably gravitated towards Biggie because we're from there.
For sure. Like, if I was growing up in that age, I would have definitely been like, yo, East Coast, fuck West Coast.
Yeah.
It's like sports. Like, with the Celtics, fuck the Lakers. You know, it's the same shit.
Yeah, it's a competitive sport.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. So then it got me thinking about the Jay-Z and Nas beef. Like, that's another beef as well that, like, not to this day, but some people say to this day because Nas mentioned, like, a little line.
Yeah, he was poking fun. He was like, yo, I'm going to still get you for that. He still laughs about it, but, like, yeah, it's all fun and games now, and it's good that, like, these two hip-hop pioneers, they can collaborate once again.
But just going back to Takeover and Ether, bro, like... We didn't. That's another thing, we didn't experience the impact of that beef.
Yeah, we was even younger then when those two tracks came out, Ether and Takeover.
Yeah, for sure. So listening to Takeover and then listening to Ether, I'm just like, they're both very good diss tracks.
They are.
They are very both good diss tracks. But I'm leaning on Ether more than Takeover because I feel like Takeover, the beat is what makes it good. You know how he word plays the lame, like, oh, you a lame with the beat. But then Ether's beat is just like, I don't know, it's just like that more up-tempo, like, club record beat. You know, and just his flow on Ether, bro. And then for people to use that as a verb, like that to become a verb, and people are saying that like, oh, you just got ethered. You know, like that's just
true.
You know what I mean? Like that's just that impact. I'm just like, how did Jay-Z become bigger than Nas? Like Ether, like it should have like ended his career, but Jay-Z like still came up top.
And the thing is, Jay-Z came out with it first, and originally, I believe Nas didn't even want to respond.
Yeah.
But like his people, they were like, "Yo, you have to respond to this."
Yeah,
it's like, "Yo, it's Jay-Z. Like he dissed you. Like you gotta come out and do something about it."
Yeah.
And he dropped it on Jay-Z's birthday.
Really?
He dropped it on Jay-Z's birthday, and I believe that's why anytime nowadays, like Nas drops something.
Wow, that
Jay-Z
explains so much.
Yeah,
that explains so much, bro. For you to get ethered on your birthday, like nah. And I know,
crazy.
And I know it hurted Jay-Z so much, bro, because he ended up coming out with a second diss that people don't even talk about. It's called Super Ugly, and I guess Jay-Z was just so much in his feelings, like he dissed like. Nas's girl, like he was just coming off. Yeah, he was coming off like really.
That's too far.
Like vulgar and bro, like this is so embarrassing. He came off so vulgar towards the woman that his mom called Hot 97 and made Jay-Z apologize on the radio. Like imagine your mom stepping into the beef and say, you gotta apologize for what you said.
Yo, like, that's crazy.
Like how did Jay-Z survive Ether, then survive his mom calling the Hot 97 to apologize and still become the first billionaire artist? Like I'm just so shocked. Like
you know, like I actually listened to like both discographies like a while ago, and I wanted to like compare and contrast to see why do people label Jay-Z like the GOAT? Like, why is he the number one? And why is Nas like below him? You know, and like listening to Jay-Z, it's like I can see why like he is, because like he caters to everyone.
Yeah.
You know, like he caters to each demographic, whereas I feel like Nas, he's a little more nonchalant, and like he caters to like his group of people. You know, like I feel like he didn't really take much risk. I believe in one album, and the one album I didn't listen to, I think it was Nostradamus. I believe that's the one album that people would say like is like his least, like his worst, because like that's where he was trying to become a little radio friendly and stuff, and like it just didn't work out for him. Work out, J. Cole. But yeah, I can see why people would say Jay-Z, but like me personally, I always like Nas a little more better.
Yeah, bro, like Nas just like his flow, his wordplay, like it just comes off so natural.
Yeah.
And just hearing all these stories, like what happened, and since we wasn't, like that's another, that goes to my point of kids are the ones that keep the music alive, because this is their first time experiencing it. They wasn't in that process. Yeah. So that's like us with G Unit, like that was our first time listening to that. We don't even know what we're singing, we're just singing to it, you know, we're making it hot. And so that's what I feel. I forget where I was going with it, but just hearing Nas Ether, him becoming like just so nonchalant, just so effortlessly how he was flowing on it. I'm just like, how did Jay-Z become so big? And then, damn, yeah, I forget where I was going with it, cause I know there was another point I wanted to bring up about that beef. Cause that beef, like, it's not still going on, but that was another iconic beef, like to the Tupac and Biggie beef.
Yeah, and I know, like 10 years ago, they had said back in 2006 or 2007 that Nas was actually gonna come out. I think it was like Summer Jam. He was gonna come out, perform his songs with like a dummy version of Jay-Z being hung.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I think he was gonna play Ether while
Yeah.
that was happening. That was very
yeah,
very trigger warning and like very scary.
Yeah, it's very vulgar. But yeah, just like Takeover and Ether, those are very good diss tracks. Hit 'em Up, and I don't even know what's the biggie, like Who Shot Ya?
So yeah, so people would say that Who Shot Ya by Biggie was directed towards Tupac,
but he said that it wasn't.
It wasn't, but like the timing of the release was very bad because
Yeah.
it's when Tupac was in jail or like he was in the hospital. No, he was in jail, and like it was after he got shot up at the studio, and then Biggie dropped the song. So a lot of people were insinuating that that was a diss track towards Tupac.
So yeah, it just seems like everything's like very strategically like planned out. You know what I mean? Why would he release a song Who Shot Ya after like his enemy at the time was just got shot?
And they were even enemies at the time. Like they were like close friends.
But once he got shot and Tupac was
he couldn't trust anyone. At that moment.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. So that just shows you like the plans with these releases, like the labels clearing these type of songs. You know, like it spreads out hate. And that's what they want. They want people to like hate each other, you know, and they want people to choose sides. Like, oh no, I'm with this side. I want that side. You know, it creates a fan base somehow. It's just like an accident. Everyone slows down to see an accident. You know, it's just something so glorifying. Yeah, it's just so ugly to look at, but we all look at it. You know, it gets our eyes. It gets our attention. So, Who Shot Ya? Hit 'Em Up. Takeover, Ether, Ja Rule and 50, like Back Down and Clap Back. Like what is your like most iconic diss track like that you can think of? Like even in recent years.
Memory.
Yeah, even recent like throughout the whole like 50 years of hip hop, like the ones that you've listened to.
Alright, so going back to your original question, if people can come back from their L, the Tory and Mag, and then Drake and Meek Mill. That back-to-back record, like even before back-to-back, so like a few days prior, he dropped Charged Up.
Yeah.
So he dropped Charged Up. So like going back, so before those records dropped, Meek Mill was in his feelings. He was dropping an album, and he said, Drake didn't even tweet my album. He doesn't even write his lyrics.
Yeah.
Just in his feelings, like, where is this coming from, you know? Yeah. But, like, a lot of people started questioning, because, like, Drake didn't say anything at first. And, like, everyone was thinking, like, wow, he just dropped, like, arguably one of, like, the best albums so far this year. You mean to tell me that this isn't Drake writing these songs? Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So, OVO Sound Radio comes out on the weekend. You hear Charged Up, and you can tell, like, he's bubbling. He's bubbling something.
Yeah, because
he's stirring the pot.
Even the flow he used on Charged Up was just so calm and collective.
Yeah.
Like, he was just, like, delivering this flow just like a warning shot.
This is the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Like, he's waiting for him. He's waiting for Meek to say something. It's like, you wanna do something? We're gonna start something. I'm gonna drop this little thing. I wanna see if you're gonna say something.
Yeah.
And then come back to me. So he drops that, and I believe the same day he dropped Hotline Bling 2. And he dropped Right Hand. Yeah, he was dropping song after song after song.
Wow, for the very first time we heard Hotline Bling?
On OVO Sound Radio that day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he dropped 3 songs. He was like, I'm going to drop a little diss, but then I'm going to go back to my shit.
Yeah.
To show you that, like, I'm not one to play with.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think 4 or 5 days later, Back to Back drops. The cover art in itself was very strategic because you had... It was the World Series back in the 90s. It was the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Philadelphia Phillies.
Nah.
And it was... I forget... I think it was Joe Carter. I forget.
That's crazy, bro. Him from being from Toronto, him being from Philly, like, this is nuts.
Drake is very strategic when it comes to his beefs. Like, this dude plays chess while these other dudes play checkers. Like, coming down to the fucking cover art.
Yeah.
So this dude, it's a walk-off home run to, I believe, to win the World Series.
Oh, my God.
So he drops back-to-back, and everyone's just mind blown. You're talking about a dude that apparently doesn't write his raps. He's a fucking singing nigga, right?
Yeah.
And he's going after the fucking battle rapper from Philly.
Yeah.
Talking about, is that a world tour? Your girls tour? You're getting bodied by a singing? Like, we've never seen this side of Drake at all during that time.
Yeah.
Because we were so used to the Drake singing Successful, talking about this me, you'll never hear a reply again. Like,
exactly, yeah, because that's how he started off his career.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm never replying to disses.
This was like his first major diss.
Yeah.
And like, he rode that shit the whole summer.
Yeah.
Meek Mill was literally a walking L, a walking meme.
Yeah.
You had OVO Fest coming on. He was performing that literally back to back. Behind him, he had all the memes highlighted of Meek Mill. Like, he was literally...
He had Will Smith.
He had Will Smith from fucking Philly guy laughing with Drake about Meek Mill. Like, this dude publicly humiliated the fuck out of Meek Mill. Like, this is like career suicide, what Meek Mill did. Off of one tweet, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Yeah.
Like, Drake, man, like, he was on top of his shit 2015. Like, we all thought, like, it was done when the ghostwriting accusations came out.
Drake,
And Drake, he came out, and he wasn't talking online.
No.
He handled it how an MC is supposed to handle it, and it's through the booth.
Yeah, not for sure.
It's through the raps. And yo, Drake, man, like, that, and What a Time to Be Alive dropped like a few months later.
Yeah.
Like, that whole year was pretty much the slogan, What a Time to Be Alive. Because, like, Drake, he killed Meek Mill. He publicly humiliated the fuck out of this dude.
Yeah, and
he deserved it.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys were boys, and he came at you so incorrectly, and it's like, wow, you're really gonna make me go down this lane.
Mm-hmm.
And Drake did that.
Yeah, and that diss track is the only diss track to ever be nominated and win a Grammy for like being a diss track. You know?
I believe it was just nominated. I don't think it actually won.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
the first diss to be and just the fact that it was nominated, it speaks volume.
Yeah, because the Grammys are always out of touch. They never know what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's always about relationships. So for them to get that one right and that to be nominated, that just shows like how far that diss track went. Yeah. Like, it got to the higher ups. Like, even the higher ups were playing it back to back. You know.
Man, like that was such a crazy time. And Meek Mill, he did respond, but like, it was just way too late.
Yeah, way too late. And then he had people on it. He was just saying, like, it didn't even sound good.
It was weak. Yeah. And I believe early 2016 is when he dropped Summer 16. It was like another subliminal diss.
Yeah.
Dissing him. And this is the funny part. The most interesting part was he dropped that, and literally an hour later, Meek Mill actually dropped a response to that. I think it was called like War Pain or something, and he was like literally responding to that track.
Yeah.
And people were like, "How the fuck did he come up with this so quickly?"
Yeah.
When the song Summer 16 literally dropped, in like 30 minutes to an hour, Meek Mill responded, and that track was actually pretty good.
Yeah, better than Summer 16.
You know, like it only took him like 8 months to like come up with like a good response. You know, but like it was whatever. It was kind of played out now because like he had his opportunity back in the summer when Drake dropped that track. It was a good track, but like time kind of passed and we was kind of over it.
Yeah. So that makes you think though, you know what I mean? In 2015, if we go back in time, we really thought Meek Mill was done. Like, we thought there was no future for him.
No future. It's like we didn't even want to listen to him anymore. It's like when we was listening to Rico, as soon as you hear Meek Millie, all right, next track. When I listen to his verse.
Yeah, and then what even, I don't know the time span, but I just remember seeing Meek Mill on his IG live or IG story. He was listening to back, like, yo, I need some motivation.
Oh, yeah. And that just further proves our point. Like, he was really like he was driving, and like he was playing back to back. He's like, for motivational purposes, like.
Yeah. Like, for you to listen to the diss track that ended your career at that time, like, damn, bro. Like, how low were you?
Man.
But now in 2023, like, he's fine. Like, he still has a career. People are still listening to him. Drake and him actually squash the beef, make a hit record, going bad. Like, that just shows you what time does. You know what I mean? Like,
time heals all. Love and peace
like,
to all.
So that just makes you think, like, can Tory really come back from this beef with Meg Thee Stallion?
I mean, like, they're two totally different situations, you know?
How, bro? Both people got L's.
No, they did, but, like, you're talking about someone that almost, like, fatally hurt someone, you know?
Nah,
like,
bro.
you're talking about, like, I feel like maybe if, like, the roles were reversed, like, if it was Megan that did that to Tory, you know, like, people would be like, oh, she'll be fine, you know? It's a double standard in life. It's a guy that hurt a female, you know, and he's locked up, and, like, I don't know what... Honestly, this situation right here, it's very difficult to figure out. We don't know what's gonna happen. Me personally, I don't know how he can come out from this. I just don't know.
You personally, but your boy Chris Brizzy literally fucking punched the shit out of Rihanna 10 times, made her face swole up. There was pictures all over the internet or wherever, the blogs, the magazines at the time. But what's Chris Brown doing right now? Having a career.
True.
Like, I'm telling you, bro. Like, what? In a year, I say a year and a half most, Tory's gonna be back with Chicks Tape 6. I'm calling it right now.
You heard it here first, because I would like that, because Chicks Tape 5, that I had that on repeat for the longest time, but man, it's
hard to see.
For me, it's hard to see. Like, how can he bounce back from that?
Yeah.
How can he bounce back from that? But I don't know.
We just see it time after time. Like, another situation with a guy and a girl was P. Diddy and J-Lo. They were in a club, and I forget if it was who had the gun in the club, but something with a gun allegations, and it was a guy and a girl, and they both were publicly beefing with each other, and people just people just always forget. Like, as time goes on, people forget. Life goes on, you know, like, another beef goes on, like, that catches people attention. Like, it just shows time after time. OJ getting accused of killing his wife, that was a beef that was in the media for a while. Then that just goes on. He's out of jail. He wrote 2 books saying, what if I did it? Like just all these beefs that has happened in the past, bro, like, that the media has highlighted to us, and it just ends up just moving on, bro. Like, it's just crazy, you know what I mean?
Only time can tell.
Yeah, for sure.
We just have to wait and see what's gonna happen with this potential new trial.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I just feel like that's the most current beef right now.
Yeah.
Is the Meg and Tory. Like a big beef like that's like worldwide or countrywide, however you want to say it. So that just got me thinking, like, just thinking about that beef made me think about the past beefs, and like a lot of stuff has happened in the music game, you know?
Where people were able to bounce back and have their career again.
Yeah. Or they don't bounce back, like Little Flip. He got dissed by T.I. He hasn't bounced back, Little Flip.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, no, that was the topic of the day, you know, was beef. Well, that's about it for me.
Yes, sir.
It was a good conversation as always. Hope you guys liked it. Let us know in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. You already know.
We appreciate you guys very much.
Yes.
Appreciate the support. Follow that page on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
For sure.
And we'll be back with the next one very soon.